Hello and welcome to episode 71 of Speak Free with MattyG. I'm sorry, my voice is a little bit croaky. I was at the Doggies Roosters game last night. Joined here today by a very special guest. We've got Issa in, young rugby league journalist. You work for the ABC, you work for Zero Tackle, you're breaking stories, your socials are popping off. You've grown so much this year, so we'll be talking about that. And I also want to talk to you about sort of the changing media landscape of the rugby league world, as we see sort of a more, a greater interaction between content creator and broadcaster / journalist, and how they're mixing, together, and becoming one world rather than two separate entities, which we've seen in the past. But take me back. When did you decide you wanted to be a sports journalist?
Yeah, absolutely, man. First off, thanks for having me on here. I'm super keen to kind of get on here and chat footy and everything between. So I probably got into... I probably decided I was going to be a sports journalist maybe 2-3 years ago, when I first, started uni. I'm currently studying journalism at uni. I'm in my final year now. So, it was a complete kind of left field decision. I was studying fitness, had no dreams of doing anything in uni or journalism or media or anything like that. And then one day I kind of just flipped it and started up at uni, and only just got into actually working as a sports journalist maybe 9-10 months ago. So still fairly fresh on the scene, but yeah, man, it's been a pretty quick journey, but a really good one so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's sick that you've got a gig while still finishing uni, because I did journalism at uni.
Yeah, right.
And
okay.
It's not fucking easy to get a job in the media.
No.
So I think that's, hats off to you. Obviously they can see your value, but what's it like to work at, because I see that you're in the ABC sometimes like late at night. Hey?
Yeah.
So you're in there for like an overnight shift, are you?
Yeah.
In case anything happens, in case anything breaks.
Yeah. So the way that works, first of all, it's disgusting. I hate those hours. But I'm normally in there from probably around 10:30, 11 p.m. till like 6:30 in the morning.
Are you the only one in there at that time? Yeah. The only person in the whole building?
You've got security that are like in some distant room that I've never seen.
Yeah.
But it's just me. So a lot of time spent alone with my thoughts.
Yeah, wow. Because I've been in that ABC. That's in Ultimo.
Right?
Yeah. So I've been there for Q&A a few times.
Yeah, okay.
Not that I really agree with ABC's political standpoint on anything. But I go there just to sort of stir the pot, I guess.
It's needed sometimes.
Yeah, it is. You need balance, right? You need balance. But it's a cool building, man. But I couldn't imagine being in such a huge place like that, basically on your own.
Well, you would have gone, when there was actual human beings about. Yeah. I'm there when there's absolutely no one in the room. There's no one in the building. Just alone with my thoughts until about 6:30 in the morning. So.
Yeah, wow. So how did that gig come about? Was it like an internship and then it's turned into something else, or?
So the way that, and it's funny because you say kind of how hard it is to get into media from university. All my jobs that I've done in media I've had to do either volunteer work or free intern work. So the way that the ABC gig came around is I was actually working as a volunteer at a radio station. 2SER. I don't know if you heard of them, but it's just like a local station in the city. And I was just basically on there, working in a newsroom, reading the news bulletin in the morning, just stuff like that. And my director used to work at the ABC, and she essentially just said, look, I want your resume. I want to send it through to them. She sent it through to them. I didn't really think much of it. And then they reached out to me and asked me if I'd be keen to come in and start working in international news. And now, look, my passion is obviously sports and footy in particular, but you never say no to a gig, especially somewhere there. So.
100%. And also international news, it could be such a huge story, especially overnight, when we sleep, so much is going on.
So much.
Think of the biggest stories in the world. 9/11 happened when, during, our sleep. Imagine you're in there and seeing that sort of shit, it's crazy.
The crazy thing is, because I work in, especially now, and definitely a sensitive topic, but because there's so much going on overseas, especially in the Middle East at the moment and stuff like that. I've been on shift when... actual conflict has broken, overseas. I remember, I believe it was the US's base in Gaza or Israel got bombed overnight. and I was the only person in the building, and all the international journos are reaching out to me and calling me and just saying, oh, like, we need to get the news started like an hour early, and then everyone starts rushing in at like 3:30 in the morning.
Oh,
like, it's
shit,
just crazy.
really?
It's crazy.
Yeah, I've always wondered that, eh?
Yeah.
Like, that is wild
Yeah.
because I guess, the news cycle doesn't sleep.
It doesn't sleep, yeah.
Especially in today's, with social media and it is a 24/7 news cycle,
Yep.
and it comes and it goes, and it's, things aren't, things aren't as big a story anymore. They're very big, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's long, it's short-lived now.
Oh,
Because then it's
absolutely.
another thing happens. And
You
then
need to
another thing
jump on it
happens.
as soon as possible. Otherwise, it is
Yeah.
like it.
And you miss the boat, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then it's like, it's not even newsworthy anymore. Because
exactly.
everyone else has already reported it, Yeah, that is interesting. Because so heaps of journalists would all come in at 3:30 then.
Yeah, so the way that so essentially what my job is, because I work as an overnight producer, so I'm essentially getting all the news and content ready for the morning news when actual normal people are awake. And so essentially when something big like that happens, we need to start the news earlier. So you need your reporters to come in, you need your producers to come in like super early. So 3:30 in the morning, like if something breaks overseas, everyone needs to get in so we can get on the news as soon as possible. So a super stressful job. So glad it's not my job to actually like have to like rush and hurry and the way that they do.
Yeah.
But
And are you doing that for print? Like for...
no, for news. So for the TV.
For TV.
Yeah.
So,
So the morning news. So what you see.
What time does that start on the ABC?
I believe the
6?
news starts at 6, and they do it over in Melbourne. So like.
Oh, so they don't film that in Sydney.
Yeah, you get a couple reporters who might record from out of Sydney, but the actual sit down, like when they're sitting down in front of the TV and stuff like that, that's all recorded in Melbourne. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. No, very interesting. It'd
Yeah.
be cool to work in like, somewhere like that.
Yeah.
You'd be exposed to, and I mean, look, as much as people talk shit about the ABC, whatnot, the fact is, in terms of their news, right, I don't really agree with their opinion that much, or like, some things. But in terms of their news, it's actually really good. Their news is probably the best in the country, for sure. Because you're not getting... I guess there's a lot of, different agendas and stuff that come into play when there's a lot of money involved. And I think to have a public broadcaster is super important. And
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll always back that. A lot of people on the conservative side of politics will be like, "Oh, just cut the ABC." I'm like, bro, you don't actually understand like what people have a problem with is opinion pieces and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But news itself, you don't want your news to be, I guess, watered down or pushing a different agenda based on who's paying the most money in terms of advertisement. And, there's just so much to it. And, I think it's very important to have the ABC.
And that's something that people don't realize. And it's funny. And obviously we're going to steer into the more footy stuff, but I get these like content creators who are blowing up, who are blowing up because of their opinions and stuff like that. And sometimes, or a lot of the time, I actually don't agree with it, but you need that, because if not, it's also watered down. When you've got something like the ABC that, is a public broadcaster, it's government funded, there is no agenda, because either way they're making money.
Yeah.
So they have no reason to kind of steer in one way or the other. Whereas, your other broadcasters, they do need to kind of appeal to the higher ups in a sense. So it's a really interesting topic. And it's something that I don't think a lot of people kind of really think too deeply about. And I get it, like, sometimes like people's opinions are sometimes just,
Yeah. Unfortunately, opinions are like arseholes.
Yeah.
Everyone's fucking got one. Doesn't mean you should show it, Does not mean you should show it. I can't, everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
The podcast is called Speak Free after all. But some people are also dumb as fuck. So that's also fair to say.
I'm not going to argue there.
Yeah. Now we'll go into more footy talk because I don't want to get too political. But you also work for Zero Tackle,
Correct.
which is an online sports website, sports news website.
Yep.
So talk me through that, how you got into that, and the journey behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as I said, footy and footy news is definitely more my passion. And so, for a long time, I was just emailing a bunch of like news websites and broadcasters, just sending my resume, sending, opinion pieces through, just trying to get through somewhere, offering my services for free, like internships, whatever they've got. And I sent it through to like anyone that you can think of, any publisher you can think of. And then finally Zero Tackle kind of got back to me and was like, look, we're really impressed with, your writing and stuff like that. We don't have any paid work at the moment, but we can get you on for an internship. And I jumped on that as soon as possible, and just started writing opinion pieces for them, and then started getting into a little bit of news and stuff like that. And they really helped me kind of develop my writing and helped me kind of adjust to the fast-paced climate of news. It's one thing to really enjoy writing. There's another thing to be good at it while being quick at it. And so that's kind of really helped me as a journalist and as a writer, just kind of stay in touch with the news at all times and being quick and being kind of efficient as I'm doing it as well. So
yeah, especially the rugby league world, like things are changing so rapidly.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's crazy because, a lot of the time, and we were kind of talking about this off air, a lot of the time the news that breaks is wrong. But you still need to get on top of it because there is always that risk.
Should we talk about that?
Your podcast, man.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So, Hamasi Makasini, right? Tigers' young gun. He has not debuted yet. He's just turned 18. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of excitement around him, right?
Yeah, rightfully so.
And I go on Instagram the other day and I see Hamasi Makasini set to debut. And it was your post, but the source was the Mole, right? Honestly, Molly, get your shit together, brother, because it was wrong.
Yeah.
So then so straight away, before I saw that source was the Mole, I commented, I tagged Hamasi in it. And I was like, mate, fucking, this is awesome. How good's this? As a Tigers diehard myself, I'm like, mate, I'm so keen.
Yeah.
And then I messaged, and then I saw source the Mole, and I was like, oh fuck, I should have messaged. So I was like, I'm not sure how true this is or not. And he's like, no, bro. He's like, I'm not debuting. And I was like, oh shit. So then I'm like waiting for team list. Then I'm thinking maybe he's lying to me because he doesn't want, now it's like, it's a secret with the club, And so I even said that to him. I was like, are you playing me too, bro? I was like, is the club holding you back from saying the truth so like they can announce it?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, bro. He's like, I haven't even been at the club. He's like, I've been back at school.
Yeah.
And so yeah, all that went down, and then obviously team list comes out, and he's not.
No.
What was that feeling like for you?
So, being the first or one of the first to drop a story, I guess for someone like the Mole who's been around for ages, it doesn't really affect him. But for someone like me who's still fresh, it's actually a very nerve-wracking experience because there have been times where I've been wrong before, and I was essentially the second person to report it after the Mole. And now I know why, because no one wanted to report the story. But it was super nerve-wracking. And then when I started getting messages from people saying, look, I don't think he is debuting, I was like, far out.
Yeah.
And
I was going to message you, and then I was like, I'm just going to see how this one plays out.
You know what? Let Isaac learn his lesson.
I'm like, it's too late now anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And look, I'm very careful with the way I word both articles and headlines. So when the Makasini news dropped, I wrote an article for Zero Tackle straight away, and I got a post out on socials as well. And as I was saying to you before, a bunch of people reposted it. Like we had Guru repost, we had so many people kind of repost it. And I was very careful with how I worded it. I didn't say he will be debuting. I say he's set to debut, or he's expected to debut according to the Mole. Yeah. And I was very careful with that because I've been burnt in the past before by breaking a story way too early. And I've had journos reach out to me kind of teaching me to be a little bit less jumping on the gun kind of thing.
Yeah.
So when I saw the team list dropped and he wasn't in the reserves and he wasn't in anything, I was like, far out. And I'm thinking, far out, all these people.
I know. But the funny thing is the Mole then doubles down and goes, no, I meant next week. It's like, no, you didn't, motherfucker.
No, you did not.
You did not, you liar. He ain't even playing next week. I doubt he'll debut this year. There's 4 weeks to go. We've just re-signed Star.
Yeah.
We've got Taylor May, playing amazing,
Yeah.
Unless they put Hamasi to debut in the back row, maybe. But why would you bother? Like, he's 18.
There's no reason. Look, the original reason I heard that he was debuting, but I actually haven't checked in the last couple of days. Apparently, Starry had some sort of injury.
Well, he was ruled out last game, so I think that's where the rumors sort of came, from. Plus, you've also got Tigers players quoted saying, "I think Hamasi will make his debut, before season's end," sort of thing. Which, look, it's not a bad idea. The fact is, a rookie season has to be 5 games or less.
5 games or less, yeah. So he can
debut now and then still have his rookie year next year.
Absolutely.
So it's not a bad idea if it's needed, but at the moment, I don't think it's needed.
No.
Like, you don't need to rush 18-year-olds into first grade. So I'm happy with Benji to make him wait until next year, probably. But when he debuts, mate, it's going to be pretty amazing. Yeah.
And when he debuts, I want to be the one to break it. Mole, you owe me one.
Yeah, 100%. Molly, you shut your mouth and you give it to Isaac, all right? Because you were wrong.
You were wrong. And I got stitched up for it.
No, all love to the Mole. But, I think that's sort of his shtick too, is that he just like pushes buttons. And,
absolutely.
He, he's had a lot of skin in the game for a long time, so I guess he has that ability to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, sucks for someone like you.
I have no sting in the game, so I can't be risking this stuff.
Yeah, you got to kill your career before it started, mate. Fuck. Now your socials, right? I must say, how you present your posts and that, very visually appealing, right? And I think a big thing for, I guess, rugby league fans is authority. They look for in a post when it comes to news, because you're not just going to like share anything to your story. Whereas yours are presented in such a way that it's like straight as soon as I see your post, I'm like, okay, that's legit. That's legit. That's why I didn't fucking tag Tomasi straight away. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And I think you've done a really good job of that. In how you actually present the news on your socials. And you've blown up. We're talking just off air. I think when you followed me at the start of the year, you had like 300 followers, something like that.
Yeah.
Now it's at what, 4,800?
We're about 5,300 now.
5,300 now.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. That's even gone up in like the last couple of days. So I looked at it the other day when I was like writing numbers in my head, That's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, it shows the power of rugby league, right?
Absolutely.
Rugby league as a whole, I think with content creation, with journalism, with just people's appetite for it is bigger than anything else we've seen in this country.
Absolutely.
100%. Whoever thinks AFL is a better sport and a bigger sport are off their heads, in my opinion.
Nah.
And I say that as a proud New South Welshman who never watched AFL in my life. So apologies to the Victorians listening, who probably see it very differently. I don't know.
Of course.
But I think anyone who gets into this game, whether it be content, whether it be journalism, whether it be, just making skit videos, whatever it is, or just going to the games and supporting, and being that supporter and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's a room for everyone to grow rapidly.
Yeah.
Because the game is growing rapidly.
Yeah.
It's a really good time to jump on as a, whatever someone's profession is or what their dreams or aspirations are. I think the NRL is a really good gateway for that.
Yep.
So my question to you regarding all that is, did you expect to sort of get the following you did? Or has it come as a bit of a surprise?
It has come as an overwhelming surprise. So as I was saying to you, for the first few months, I think I got like 300 followers in probably, about 3 months. And then the next 4 months was like 5,000 followers. And it's so overwhelming because my goal was never to essentially blow up on socials. It was more so like, if you scroll all the way down on my page, you'll see that my first post, I said, this is just as a portfolio for like, businesses or media agencies or whatever who see me and, potentially could offer me work or whatever. That was all it was meant to be. And I've kept those posts there because like, I feel like it's part of the foundation.
100%. And it's also, it shows that you were never doing it. Actually, if I was sitting there at Fox League going, we need another journalist, right? Or, and I looked at your page and I saw them, I'd go, actually, I like this guy. Yeah. Because it shows he's doing it for the love of it,
Absolutely.
No, I think that's super cool, man. I think that's super fucking cool. Yeah. I mean, 5,300. Was there a particular post that sort of blew you up or?
It wasn't a particular post. I found that just people started trusting me a lot more. So when I start looking at like the insights and stuff, because I try to check the insights on my page and where people are coming from and stuff like that. And the insights for as my page was growing were like probably like 80% non-followers were coming across my page. And whereas you look at it now and it's probably like 60-40, 60 being my actual followers. And it's because, and it's similar to what you said before, people are starting to trust me now. Like my DMs are flooded every day. People asking about, you know, their favorite team, their favorite players, blah, blah, blah. And I obviously give as much accurate and information as I can. I don't claim to know what I don't know. But as I have kind of grown the page and, you know, my authority with, you know, like Zero Tackle and ABC and stuff like that, I've been able to develop more relationships with, you know, agents and other journos and stuff, which has helped me get more exclusive stories, which then builds on the authority. So as people start seeing that I am able to essentially give accurate news information, exclusive sometimes, you know, they do start to trust me a little bit more. And so I think that's where it's kind of come from. So I don't know, like I've obviously had a few posts that have done a lot better than others, but I think it's more so people are starting to trust me a little bit more now, which honestly means more to me than essentially any of this, any number, any, you know, followers, likes. The fact that I've got people who DM me like trusting that I can give them the right information is essentially what I'm in it for anyway.
Yeah.
So that's a really kind of comforting feeling as I kind of continue growing. So
yeah, no, that's well said. I think that is such a huge thing. I think especially in, I guess, you know, not to get too political, but since 2020, you know, when something happened in the world.
I don't remember what it was. But
yeah. There was a lot of mistrust, right?
Yep.
For media, for journalists, and that. And I think, like, even though that had nothing to do with rugby league, I think it filters down across the board, right?
Absolutely does.
So I think to have that trust with an audience is such a huge tool, such a huge advantage, especially because a lot of rugby league, it's not like rugby league fans will just love you because you're a rugby league journalist.
No, we're not.
They'll let you know exactly what they fucking think of you.
Yeah.
You know, look at the comments about Buzz every day when he's on 360, or about, you know, about Reedy, or about you know, even Chamis cops it. You know, I've given it to Chamis.
Yeah.
I was like, get off the Tigers' back, cunt. Fucking give us a break, you dog. But I like Chamis, right? I think he's good. I think he's a great journalist. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, fuck, bro. Give it a rest.
But you're right. Like the footy fans are so vocal, and I think that's something that I really wasn't prepared for.
Yeah. But I think that's good for you too, because it makes you better, right?
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
It absolutely does. And it's something that I really kind of, like, I try to respond to every comment, every DM, blah, blah, blah. And I get a lot of really kind messages and comments, but I cop it sometimes
really?
as well. I cop it. And
just from sharing news that they don't want to hear, or...
At the start, it was sharing news that they didn't want to hear, but I think that, and unfortunately with social media and stuff, and it's something that I'm really starting to kind of try to like get a grasp on, but with social media, I think because people have access to you whenever they want, they feel like they can get some sort of like personal connection, so they do get personal sometimes, and that's something that I was kind of taken aback by, because I do report news. I don't put out opinions very often, or at all, really. And like I've gotten a lot of personal attacks as well, and that's something that I've really had to adjust to, because I guess I kind of came into it a little bit naive, thinking, well, I'm just reporting news, like it has nothing to do with me. But when you've got your name and your face, it can always be made personal on social media.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
but people doing that, you're a wanker. Sorry, you're a wanker. If you're messaging Isaac, getting personal with him, you're a fucking dickhead, mate, as far as I'm concerned. So I'll back you on that.
Thank you, mate.
But I get it, right? That's the world we live in.
Exactly.
That's the world we live in. You know, some comments people have left on my videos are fucking crazy.
It's crazy.
You know, I put up that video after we beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Like, you know how I do my videos from the field, like from the ground. And man, like it's funny because all my like Bulldogs like content creator mates were loving me.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
They love it.
Of
you
course.
Know? They're like, if I can enjoy it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you deserved it.
Yeah.
Man, some of the comments were just dog stands around.
Oh man,
fuck.
you
motherfuckers are vicious.
Yes. that was ballsy from you.
Yeah, like fuck you, you fat cunt.
Yeah.
shit like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I get it, guys. Okay, I get it. I've also got mirrors. I'm aware.
No, just in case, these Bulldogs fans, they are vicious.
They are,
will
but I
come
love
at
it
you.
too. It's funny because I sat with them all yesterday
Yeah.
at the game, and they all took me in as like, I feel like I'm like an honorary leb, like.
What was that? 2 years you spent down in the area?
Yeah. Lived in South Granville for 2 years, Maxwell Street, baby. Let's go. So I feel like I've done the hard yards.
Oh, absolutely.
I feel like I'm one of you.
You're one of us.
Yeah. Very white version of that. But nah, I do love. I love the culture the Dogs have brought to the game this year. I think it's fantastic. And to be honest, I love the shit talk from people. I think it's great. Keep it coming. I love it. Because I'll give it back. And Haynes even said it really well. If you're going to give it out, you got to be able to cop it.
Absolutely.
And that's the fact. But with you, you're just a journalist. So leave him alone, guys. It's just breaking news.
You know what? Sometimes I wish, or not I wish, but it's funny because I know that I can't, or a lot of the time I can't give my opinion on things because I do need to really stay professional at all times. And so it's been a really good experience. Like I said, I get a lot more kind messages than I do negative ones, but it's been a really good experience for myself professionally to learn how to take, I guess, unreasonable feedback and still flip it in a way like that I can keep my calm demeanor, my professional demeanor, because a lot of the time, like you see journos and stuff, or even just people in the media can kind of flip it sometimes and lose that kind of professional edge. And so that's something that's been really important for me to kind of just learn to do. When you're speaking to just Isaac, like outside of the kind of the page and the socials and the career, I'll talk as much shit as you want. But when I'm in a professional mindset, I stay in that professional mindset. So that's been a really important kind of stepping stone for myself and my career. So
yeah. Well, I mean, and that's important, right? To be able to switch on and switch off that. Because at the end of the day, it's a job, right? So you don't want it to be a whole life. Mm-hmm. And I think that's sort of where there's a bit more of a grey area when it comes to just content creators or that it's not just a job really. It's like, it's who they are. Yep. So I think they open themselves up to cop a little bit, I guess, more of that more often. Yeah. Because, being that, loud, proud supporter of whatever club they support is part of their personality and that. And you're a Bulldogs fan. I am. Right? But if you look at your posts, like, I don't think it comes across, which is hats off to you, because I think sometimes it can be easy to have that like bias. You know?
That's very hard, I'm gonna say. That's super hard.
Yeah, like how do you put up like Roosters dominate Bulldogs? Like,
I've had to. It's like, it's funny. Like a couple of weeks ago, or a few weeks ago, when Tigers versus the Dogs, it was a huge kind of the whole. And I know you're having JC on the show, but the whole Horde thing, that was a huge thing for a few days, and I've obviously got a report on it, and Tigers fans, Dogs fans just going at each other in the comments, and Tigers fans were absolutely giving it to us, and rightfully so. You flogged us, but
Tigers 30 plus.
And we're recording this after another Bulldogs 13 plus loss. So
that's true.
But yeah, just keeping that professional demeanor and not showing that I'm a Bulldogs fan is super important, because then I do lose authority and I lose that respect, because at the end of the day, I'm not a Bulldogs fan when I'm working. I'm a rugby league fan and reporter and journalist, and I got to keep that kind of professional demeanor. So,
what did you think about the whole HOD?
Yeah, so
is that how you say it properly? I hope I'm getting it right.
You know what? It's much better than a few of the I've heard. I don't know if you heard.
This episode will actually come out after JC, so by then he's taught me exactly. But we're filming it before.
We're filming it before JC. So, but I actually think I've got a little bit of a different opinion on that situation than a lot of people in kind of like content creators and media and stuff like that. First of all, I don't actually care about the actual like doing the gesture and whatever like that. Like, and you speaking to a lot of Lebanese people about it. Like, we just do it to each other.
100%. I got it done to me like 40 times last night. I don't
Like,
give
we
a
just
fuck.
do it. Yeah, we just do it. Like, it's actually like not a big deal at all. Like, it's not. I think where it became an issue
was that at players?
Players on fans. I actually think nothing would have happened if they did it to the other players. I think the issue is kind of keeping that professional. I know there's a lot of intensity and passion in a game and in a sport, and I'm all for it. But when you're trying to kind of build the game in a sense, I think it is really important to keep that in mind, that we are trying to keep professional. But again, I think there are so many factors to it that it's not a black and white kind of thing. Like, again, like the actual gesture itself is not like, I wouldn't be offended if anyone did it to me, because it's just, we just do it to each other.
Yeah. And I mean, is it any different to a player scoring and then waving like bye-bye or like clapping in front of an opposition fan's face? Like, I feel like they're both just as obnoxious as each other.
I think when it comes to that, it's really interesting because, as you say, like the actual gesture is not like that big of a deal. And it could just be interpreted as exactly as you said, like waving to the crowd, clapping in front of the crowd. I think because, and again, this is why it's not black and white, because I guess it was directed at a mainly Lebanese audience, that it can be interpreted in a different way.
That is true. And
like, if they did it to Roosters supporters, I don't think anyone would really like. I think they'd just be like, "That was weird."
Yeah,
Like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Whereas I think that Bulldogs, because it was targeted towards Bulldogs, like
exactly,
Lebanese
it's part of
people.
culture, right? It's a culture thing.
And I think that's the fact that there's an underlying thing. But again, it's actually not that offensive. It's just because it was during a professional sporting match that I can see why it kind of blew up as much as it did. So definitely an interesting one. But I'm glad that it didn't kind of carry on further past that week.
I thought the sanctions handed down were perfect. I thought
that
it was
was fine.
Slap on the wrist for the rest of the
Yep.
boys and NATO shouldn't have went on and done the video.
But
You know, it was
probably
a silly thing.
Yeah, but
It's
look, that's Naden. That's what he does.
100%.
And I think he did it knowing that he'd cop it, and it is what it is, and he would just cop it. But again, like, you know what, and hats off to him, because he didn't come out and chuck a talk about it. He didn't chuck a stink about it. No one, chucked a stink about it really after the sanctions were handed down. And I think that's really important. Like, in this game, and like, it's very easy to hold grudges and to just blow things up way more than they should be. And so the fact that, everyone chucked a talk about it, the sanctions were handed down, and that was it. I think that was a really important moment.
Yeah, I just didn't like that. I wouldn't mind it. I have minded it as much if the NRL put it wasn't a complaint put in from the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
I thought if I was a Bulldogs fan and
Yeah.
I saw my club has put in an official complaint to the NRL, I would have thought, bro, really?
I think we had a few more things to worry about.
Are you taking the loss that hard, bro?
Yeah, I think we had a few more things that we needed to worry about.
Yeah.
Hopefully we don't get any sanctions after that Roosters
But
flogging.
one good thing about it is that next year, Tigers Dogs is
mate.
going to be a fucking sellout.
I will be there.
And
I will
I'm
be there. I know
keen.
you will be there.
And you know what? Claws out in my face.
Yeah.
To all Bulldogs players, if you win, claws out in my fucking face. I don't care, bro. Do it. It's funny. It's good for culture.
It's so good for I love it. And the best part about it, and looking at it, like, then when you flip off the professional side and looking at it from a content creator side, like seeing you with Hectic Fred and Emilio last night, like, it's actually not that deep. It's not that deep. No.
We all get along.
Yeah.
We all love each other.
Yeah.
Like, it's footy, and we leave it at that, you know.
Absolutely.
Whether they can leave it on the field or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, let's hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the players are pretty good at that.
Yeah.
Like, they leave shit on the field. It's just, like, you saw Romy and Galvin,
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
embrace, and maybe they still don't like each other.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they don't need to be best friends. It's
No, they
footy. But at the end of the day, they were good sportsmen, and they hugged it out, and away we go.
Absolutely.
And, on to the next one.
Absolutely.
Bulldogs are probably going to be playing finals.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they're definitely going to be playing finals. Tigers probably aren't going to be playing finals. And but we got one up on
Yeah.
the year, and it's a nice thing for Tigers fans,
Well, I just think and I think people forget so often that the Bulldogs were rubbish a couple of years ago, and so when we had these wins, it was a really there was a special moment for us, and I think that the Tigers are headed on a similar trajectory in the next few years as the Dogs have kind of gone on. But people forget that the three bad teams were Dragons, Bulldogs and Tigers. That was us three in the, and then obviously you got the Titans, but no
give a fuck about that. Kick Gold Coast out of the comp. Kick them out.
But I think that I feel like Dogs fans in a way forget that we were also there. And so it's really important to remind ourselves that for Tigers fans, that's a really important win. You got to win over a team that's,
100%. And there's been good wins this year.
Yeah.
There's been certain games that have been really good wins. Yep. Pockets of brilliance. Yeah. And it makes me excited, especially a year that's been so heavily disrupted with the whole Galvin situation.
Yeah.
And I'm keen as for next year. I'm super proud of them for this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're not getting a spoon.
No.
I don't know who's getting it at the moment. I don't know. I was going to say South, but they then beat Titans last week. So, fuck, who knows?
I probably got the Titans, to be honest. I think I got the Titans.
You got the Titans getting it? I think so too. Possibly Newcastle as well. So
I'd hate to see Newcastle win it, to be honest, or, get the wooden spoon, because I think that as much as they've been disappointing, I do kind of like the trajectory they're on a lot better than the Titans. The Titans are so disappointing for no reason that just give them the spoon. It might be a wake-up call.
True, but whoever's doing the books at Newcastle Knights.
Yeah.
Fuck. Dylan Brown.
You are not cooking.
Dylan Brown. How much?
1.3.
A year.
A year. So I think
10 years.
Yeah. So
13 million.
Yep.
Makes you wonder.
It's great. They're bringing in a centre, a 5'8". They're bringing in a lock. They're bringing in a New South Wales Cup player. He feels it all.
Oh, mate, he can do it all. Can't win a game without Moses.
It's great.
How good. Nah, I shouldn't talk shit. He's played more NRL games than me.
Yes.
So. Who knows? Maybe a change of scenery might be good for him, and he might be, you don't know these things until it happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But on face value, weird decision, in my opinion. Weird decision.
Yeah,
so.
Especially when you've got guys you've got Fletcher Sharp coming through. They've got a couple young halves coming through as well that are pretty impressive. And then obviously you've got star players across the board. I would have much rather they spend at least half or a little bit more than half of that money on Leo Thompson and then bring in a serviceable, halfback until your young guys come through. But
yeah, they're probably going to lose Ponga, right?
Yeah, it's looking like after 2027. I can't see him being there after 2028. Now I've heard that the plan is for him to leave after then anyways and have Fletcher Sharp go into that one role.
So leaving after 2027.
Correct.
So he doesn't want to play rugby?
It's unknown whether he wants to go to rugby or if he wants to go to another club.
Because he'd probably only get one World Cup, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
In rugby.
Yeah.
Then after that, he's probably too old.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So I think he'd be 27 now. It'd be something like that. So yeah, he does it. He's probably only got one World Cup left. So.
And when's the next World Cup?
28, I believe.
For rugby? Or is it 27?
Oh, it might be 27.
So he might leave...
No, it might be 27. I thought it was 28 though.
2027 Rugby World Cup.
Oh, okay.
In Australia.
Yeah, okay. There
1st of October to 13th of November. So realistically...
He probably misses that then unless because he's committed himself till the end of 2027. So, but what a contract means.
Exactly.
Yeah, what a contract.
Gavin was staying at Tigers too, so we'll see.
But look, it looks like regardless, I don't think Ponga is in the plans past 27. I'd be very surprised if he re-signed, and I think Fletcher Sharp is their fullback moving forward. So
okay,
it's there are a few moving pieces, but from what I hear, the Knights are, aside from the Dylan Brown thing, they are building their side, quite nicely when all things considered. They're about to bring in Trey Mooney. He might be signed by the time this comes out. They've got Sharp, who I think is just brilliant. I think he's amazing. And they got a few young kind of halves and outside backs who are coming through who are really impressive as well. So it's not all doom and gloom for the Knights.
Plus Dom Young's back there.
Dom Young's back there. They've got Vitano coming through. He's playing fullback this week. Connor Vitano, he's a really good fullback outside back. They've got De Courcy, I think his name is. He's a really good outside back as well. They got a few good young guys, and that's what I love seeing. At these clubs, these bottom 9 clubs, when they just have like exciting talent coming through. I remember as a Dogs fan getting so excited before we were like, started doing well about Mitch Woods coming through and he was going to be the savior and blah, blah, blah. And the fact that he's just going to be kind of like slotting into a good side is just exciting. But these bottom 8, bottom 9 sides who are really putting in the work for their development, squads and their junior squads is like super exciting. So I love that for kind of the NRL moving forward.
100%. I do have a question to ask you with absolutely. A bit of, I guess, opinion, put your journalist hat off and put your NRL fan hat on.
Yep.
Who do you think wins the comp this year?
Okay.
With your head.
Okay. With my heart, I'm going to say the Bulldogs just off the bat, just so no Dogs fans think I'm a fake fan.
Yeah.
Who do I think wins the comp? Now, if you asked me a few weeks ago, I would have said the Melbourne Storm. The Panthers are starting to scare me, and this is coming off the back of a Melbourne Storm win over the Panthers. But
Harry Grant dive.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. Dive against them. They do it against everyone else. Fuck them.
Yeah, I got in a heated debate about that yesterday, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Look. My opinion on it is this, right?
Yeah.
I'm not for diving in the sport. I think it weakens. I think it cheapens the game, right?
Yep.
And I don't like it. And we've always had that against soccer in this country, as in our players are real men.
Yes.
And your players are a bunch of pussies who take dives.
Yes.
And I think it's starting to really meet in the middle.
Yeah, look, I'll say that, and the reason for that is because they're putting in so many rules in place that it's now starting to mirror soccer.
100%. That was the point I was going to make, is that the blame cannot be on coach or player.
No.
And it cannot be on ref.
No.
It's at the top.
Yep.
Who's making these stupid fucking rules, right? The fact that you can't tackle a kicker anymore.
Yeah.
You can't even touch the leg of a fucking kicker.
Yeah.
The little things, a penalty right in front, 2 points for a brush of a fucking leg. Mm-hmm. Fuck me. Yeah. It's a fucking contact sport, for God's sake. If you can't defend against your kicker, it may as well fucking play touch footy.
Well,
right?
that's the issue, that because footy fans haven't kind of adapted to the mindset of the NRL in that sense. That's why we look at these things and we're like, fuck this, this player took a dive and did it. But really, like, we actually are getting closer to soccer because we are getting so many rules put in place. And I get it, it's for player safety, I understand. But
is it? If they really wanted to be that safe, would they be playing rugby league to begin with?
And
you know what I mean?
And that's the real kicker, because at the end of the day, it is a risky sport. And there are a lot of precautions that you can put in, whether that's, protective gear or stuff like, things like that.
Like imagine F1, right?
Yeah.
Like obviously, make it the cars as safe as possible, right? But imagine if they started going, actually, you can only drive 100 k's an hour on that track now, because people might die if you drive 100 k's. There's no point fucking doing it.
There's no point doing it.
You know
exactly.
what I mean? Like,
exactly. And that's the issue, and that's why we get put in these positions where there's so much controversy about these things. But unfortunately, this is the result of, I guess, rules being put into place into a sport that wasn't ready for these rules to be put into place.
Yes.
So,
and inconsistency. One thing I will say about refs is inconsistency in enforcing them.
Yeah.
Right? If they enforce it, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but always,
but do it for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do it for everyone.
Absolutely.
Because I tell you what, Romy fucking lined up fucking Blaze Talangi really well in our first game against them.
Yeah.
Clean hit. Fucking whacked that cunt, right? Whacked him.
Yeah.
It was so good. Mm-hmm. Penalty. The very next fucking week, Jerome Luai gets hit like that in Origin. No penalty.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like...
I think there's so much confusion for refs at the moment. They don't know what to call.
Well, and that's the problem, right? It's become such a confusing game. Yeah. We just need to simplify it. My advice to the NRL, simplify it.
Yep.
You can still be full player safety, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you got to look at things. Are they actually... Yeah. Do they actually make logical sense, right? Because if I just have to stand back and let a kicker kick...
Yeah.
Well, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And then you're not allowed to jump for the ball, because then you've brought down the player. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not allowed to defend. So if they put a kick up and they catch it, you basically got to let them fucking score.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you saw it with, two guys that come to mind straight away, Coates and Tupou.
100%.
And it's unfair because some sides just don't have that tall winger. You know what I mean? Look at the Panthers. Like, you've got the best winger in the game, Brian To'o, but he's not tall.
Exactly.
So
yeah, he can't outleap fucking Tupou.
No,
you know?
exactly. So, yeah, I'm hoping that over the next few years, as we do grow a little bit more work is put into clarity and inconsistency. Because as a journalist as well, it just makes it hard for me to report on the game because I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know the rules or how a rule should be kind of laid down. So, and obviously the whole job is putting out consistent, accurate information. So it does make it tricky sometimes.
100%.
Yeah.
I've even tried to read the rule book for certain controversial decisions.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what is the actual rule?
Yeah.
And I get so lost in there. I'm just like, fuck, mate. Like, I need a fucking lawyer to read
Yeah,
this shit
yeah.
for me. You know what I mean? Like, this is too hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it shouldn't be like that. Like, rugby league has always been a pretty simple game.
Yeah.
Like, it's been a pretty simple game, and the people who have excelled at it have been the people who've turned that simple game into something magnificent.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It shouldn't be that hard to know what the fuck is going on. That not even a diehard fan,
Yeah.
let alone a casual,
Yeah.
but a diehard fan can't work out what the rules are.
Absolutely.
You know, if a diehard fan who watches every game of the week can't work out something, that's something wrong.
That's when there's an issue.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely.
Because someone who watches it religiously should not be questioning the rules of the game.
Yeah.
And that's the, you know, Andrew Abdo, do something. Do something, bro.
Andrew, if you're listening, Peter, if you're listening.
Yeah. I don't like to put it all on PVL because
Yeah.
he saved the game during COVID. So
absolutely.
But Abdo, you know, whatever, bro. Fix the game, lad. I could say worse, but I'm choosing not to. I don't want to ruin my
No.
you know, any potential, you know, position within the NRL.
Please sponsor.
Please invite me to Vegas and pay for me.
Oh, while you're putting out offers, actually.
Yeah. Doggies are there.
Doggies are
Are you
there.
going?
I'm not going. I'm actually in my last semester of uni.
Oh,
So
shit.
I won't be able to go.
When is it? It was early March.
Early March, yeah. And uni starts, I believe, mid-Feb. So I won't be able to go, but I will be cheering on the boys. Unless I got my journalist hat on, then I will not be biased. But yeah, going back to original question, who I think will win the comp. At the moment, I've got the Panthers.
Okay.
I got the Panthers
Yeah,
at the
sorry, that's
moment.
where we went on
Yeah,
before we went on that
that's
huge
okay.
tangent.
That's how you know we're having a good chat.
I agree. My pick is Panthers.
Yeah.
And I also I'd love to see Canberra up there.
Yep.
You know, I'd love to see them. I'd also love to see Dogs in the grand final. I don't know if I'd like to see them win, only because I don't know if I'd be able to see Galvin, you know, win a ring straight away.
Wow, what a story that would be, though. That would be just...
From, cellar dwellers to premiership.
That would be
winner.
crazy. But I think like that would be one of those things where it's like similar to like controversies in the past of players. Like I just straight springs to mind is Sonny Bill Williams, who caused probably a bigger uproar leaving the Bulldogs.
Oh, it was huge.
Yeah,
Massive story.
Galvin leaving the Tigers. But like when you see these players who just cause such a huge story, like to see him, not even from a Bulldogs fan perspective, but someone who works in the media, that story of Lachie Galvin winning a premiership the first year he leaves the club would just be a huge story.
It would be 100%. But it's not going to happen. So don't worry about it. It's all good.
Not after last night's performance.
Yeah. Look, I'll be very surprised if Doggies win it. I'd be surprised. I don't
probably
have them up there.
I probably got, look, and again, talking all about plots and stories, blah, blah, blah. I think a Panthers versus Bulldogs grand final would just be absolutely crazy.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It'd be huge.
It'd be huge. I think it'd be huge especially for New South Wales, for Sydney, to see two Western Sydney Giants who have obviously a lot of history together with, you know, Gus and Seraldo and Critter and all
it'd
the
be
other
just so nice to see that whole stadium blue and white
Wow.
because Panthers fans don't turn up. So it's true. It's true.
I actually went to the grand final a couple of years ago when they versus the Broncos, and I was surprised by how many Broncos fans there were.
Yeah. The year before was even crazier.
Oh, yeah.
Parramatta.
All para?
Fuck yeah.
Fire out.
Beforehand, I was walking around going, are Penrith even playing in this grand final?
Yeah, they're just used to it now.
No, but it was 2022. So,
okay, so
2020 they lost.
And
right?
then 21 they won.
21 they won, but it was in Brisbane.
Wow, so this was their first opportunity.
So it was their first opportunity, and they got outnumbered. I'm not kidding you. I reckon 3-1.
Yeah, wow.
And it's
I
the
did
biggest
not
rivalry.
realize. Yeah, that is the biggest rivalry. One of the biggest in NRL.
Yeah, for sure.
That's like Roosters,
you expect
Rabbitohs
to be
level.
even, but
Yeah.
it seemed even towards the end when Panthers were flogging
Oh,
them.
yeah.
But I think there was still a lot more para fans
Yeah,
there.
absolutely.
And we talked about Wooden Spoon.
Yeah.
That's what I had to ask you. Roosters, after last night's performance,
Yeah.
flogged the Doggies.
Yeah.
They've been playing really well. They just flogged the Dolphins the week before. Do you see them as a dark horse to possibly win a comp from the bottom four of the top, from that outside the top four?
If you're going to pick a dark horse, I'll pick the Roosters, but I don't think that they win it. I just think that with the Roosters, they have kind of come into almost every season with some level of expectation. Probably not as much this year, but still a level of expectation. And I think that there's a real pressure on Roosters players to kind of reach that expectation. I think the years that go by without it kind of being reached, I think kind of dwindles their confidence in a sense. And I don't think that they have that, they've obviously got James Tedesco there, but they don't have like a Cooper Cronk there to kind of lift them up in the spine and whatnot. Whereas I look at, these other top sides, like you've got, the Panthers with Cleary, you've got Melbourne with Munster and Hughesy. Like you've got all these kind of top sides, even Raiders to a lesser extent with Jamal Fogarty, who's obviously a veteran, who have that kind of level head. Whereas I love Sammy Walker, but I don't know with the pressure that comes with being a Sydney Roosters player, and them not being in the top four, I just can't see them winning every game in the finals. But if we were to pick a dark horse, it would absolutely be them.
Yeah. I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Now we will end because I've got JC out there waiting for me.
Yep. Sorry, JC.
But
He's gonna give me the khod when he comes in.
Yeah. To anyone, to anyone out there that wants to do journalism,
Yep.
Whether it be sports journalism or any other journalism, what would be your advice to them?
My advice would be to study the media landscape and what it really is about and what's actually popping off. It's very easy to start an account. It's very easy to kind of get a job somewhere, but really understanding the space and being open to feedback would be my two biggest things. Because again, if you're not able to kind of adapt with the times and adjust to the media landscape, you're not going to make it very far. So that would probably be my advice. But again, I'm still learning and growing with you. So I'm always happy to help if you need any advice on that.
Awesome. Thank you very much for coming in, brother. You're welcome back anytime.
Absolutely.
And if you ever have any breaking news about the Tigers that I haven't put on my story yet,
I will send it through you.
Please send it through, mate. I need the goss. But yeah, remember guys, speak free with MattyG.